put you guys in partners? Go ahead, Jacob.
We have like the halftime, and then we like communicate on what we can do better, and we switch, and the other person does.
Yes, excellent. All right, so here's what we're going to do to start. So go ahead and grab that transition tracker sheet just so you can see. What's sometimes a little bit different about a Socratic seminar versus a debate is not that we are arguing, but it's not like one side thinks one thing and one side thinks the other. It's sort of more of like a large conversation that we have. And so a nice way to be able to move from one idea or one person to the other without like everybody shouting over each other at once, which can sometimes happen, is to use these transitions. So the nice thing about them, if you look at some of them, so you can go off of something that someone else says that would prove your point. You can say, yeah, I'd like to further like what Hannah said. Or what you could do is if someone asks a question or like makes a statement and you don't agree with it, you could have, or you're not fully understanding, you can use the transition of, well, where do I, like, can you give me an example? Where do we see that in the text? Or, I think I understand what you're saying, but I'm not sure. Do you see how that kind of helps people kind of fill out their thoughts? And one of my goals for our class today is that we'll be able to agree and disagree logically. So that would be really helpful to say, like, I don't really understand what you're saying, or you're going to have to prove that, like, point to an example for me. So those are kind of the transitions. And they're just there to kind of help us smoothly move through the conversation so we're not awkwardly like getting silent or shouting over one another or anything like that. Pull out your observation checklist though that you also have. The person who, are we all sitting in our partners? I think that we are. I know, Haley, you don't have a partner and that is okay because we're going to have someone also keep track for you and then you'll only have to speak once. What we're going to do is when you're sitting in the second seat and your partner is the one who's engaged in the conversation at that point, this is the sheet that you can sort of fill out for them based on what they say. So see, there's a bunch of different categories and you just simply check a box each time they do one. And this is really helpful just then for you as you move on through your life on the college or the workplace or wherever you're headed. It helps you just understand the ways that you speak and the more educated ways you can speak. It also is going to help us kind of realize if someone's dominating the conversation, not giving other people a chance to speak. I don't think that's going to be a problem, but this is a way that we can kind of monitor that. And then after the discussion's over, I have just like a self-reflection sheet for you guys to fill out. So, I think an important thing for us to do is to kind of set some goals to make sure we're educational and get out of this what we're trying to. So I set some goals for our class, and then you're going to be able to set your own goal as well. So the things that I talked about that I'm hopeful for our class is that you guys are going to be able to cite some textual evidence to support your claims. I know you're going to be able to do that because that was one of the columns on your graphic organizer, but this is just something important. Even when a graphic organizer doesn't ask you to cite textual evidence, it's always important for your argument. So that's one of my goals. And then, like I said, I hope we'll be able to agree and disagree logically so that we'll have those conversations about you can't just say that, you have to back it up or things like that. That's really important in life because that's something that we're moving away from in our world.